Take us through your story and where this all started for you.
I was lucky that I was part of a development team at Vancouver, so I never was going to play golf. I think my biggest influence, big influencer, and that obviously played a massive role in me turning professional, was Dr. Artois Players, the owner of SAP. And I don't know, he was very fond of me, and I think he believed in me so much. And so I was very lucky that I had someone I think he had so much resources, and I could literally do anything through him. So he obviously gave me the opportunity to start playing golf, because I was definitely not going to play golf. I was probably going to be a professional something, because I played lots of sports.
Even table tennis?
Yeah, I played like so much sports and stuff, so I was lucky. And then I think the reason why I took up golf was I always felt like I would never ever get to a point where I could master it, because there's so much people speaking about like what you got to perfect and stuff, but like in golf you got to be the best chipper, you got to be the best putter, you got to be the best driver of a golf ball. So like there's so much information that I think lots of guys are missing. But so I was lucky that he played a massive role in my life, and then I went on being part of a development team, Vancouver Foundation also, and then it merged with the only Vancouver Foundation. But through that I had the opportunity to play, and then I think for me, when I was younger, I took a lot for granted, I think. So I was naturally quite gifted, and I could play well, and then turned professional. My first 3-4 years on tour was varsity for me, so there was a lot of celebration when I made the cut. I wish I didn't do it, but because I never ever felt like I was going to do it for a living. It was like when I played, I always felt like this is by accident. So then I progressed and I got better and I learned a lot more. And then I think what changed me, and it could have gone both ways, when I was in a car accident where I almost died.
I remember that.
And then I think that to me changed my whole perception of perspective of what matters and how to approach my career. And also because when I was in a car accident, and I said, like, I always remember it, and if I look back at the time, the best moment for those 2 years that I was injured was I could wake up the one morning where I could, and it took me like a year and a half. It took me, it took a year and a half, or maybe a little bit more, or a little bit longer, where I could wake up the morning and I didn't have to phone my dad to help me go to the bathroom to brush my teeth. And I think like it puts it like in so much perspective where it's like something so small that you take for granted. And I think that to me was, even like work ethic and like training and stuff, I enjoyed a lot more after that happened. And like the first year when I came back, or after when I was injured, I was just so grateful to play again. And like the first year that I came back, I think I missed like the first 6 cuts because I was like not even playing well, but I was like in such a space where I was like so happy just to be back. I can see everyone, I saw everyone, I was like, it's good to be back. And then when I won, I didn't feel like I was going to win. So like for me, everyone speaks about you got to see it and you got to believe it. I saw nothing. I think what changed or what helped me was I was grateful to be out there and to compete. And like, because I was happy, I played better.
And it just naturally happened.
And it naturally happened. So I think we all get put in a bracket to say like you got to perform, you got to have goals and stuff. But you take away so much from the experience by being there. And like I know Arthur, regardless from Trueford, like we had so much fun on the golf course. Even those years when we played together, I think that was when I started playing, and I was just happy to be there. So, like just from a playing point of view, anything that you do and you enjoy it and you're happy to be out there, you're gonna do it better. So,
100%.
So it's hard to, I think when you start playing well, you're constantly working to get better, but you lose the
enjoyment.
The enjoyment. That to me is like such a big factor, and I don't want to blow smoke up my own arse, but it's like when I played every sport that I played with, I was really good at it, but I enjoyed competing and playing. And like you can look at Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Muhammad Ali, and all the best sportsmen in the world. They always speak about the element of I enjoyed competing and I wanted to be the best. There's no one that's like, oh my word, I'm going to win this week.
Unless you're Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger was obviously the...
Where's the first tee and what's the
what's the course record?
Yeah. So, like, you get like someone like him is obviously exceptional. And I think he was lucky that he grew up in a sense where it was like imprinted in his head that you're going to be that guy.
I think he was just mentally so good.
Yeah.
I think that's why, most sportsmen, Muhammad Ali, like you said, all those guys are just mentally so well prepared and taught from a young age where when they do come under pressure, where they do come where they have to hit the shot or make the right decision, 99% of the time they do make the right decision. That's kind of what it is. Like you said, most of the times guys think that you have to play your best golf to win, and it's not always like that. It's not always like that. So, sorry, just to come back to your story.
But and then, like, for me, that to me changed my whole view on things, and just like, if you do something that you love and you're present and you're there, you're gonna do better. And it's like, so I've had lots of the people that I've spoken to, and like I've coached and I've done a lot of coaching myself. It's like, I think you take away so much from what you can learn, and like, if there's one thing that I wish I could change, and I wish I knew it a bit earlier, was the willingness to learn. When I was
humbleness.
Young. Yeah.
100%.
But like the willing, like everyone, and with all respect now, it's like, if you know everything, there's no space for improvement. So, and the majority of the guys, and you see it on lots of guys on tour, and this is probably the last thing I'll say, like we were standing outside and Arthur was helping, this one guy came and he spoke about, they possibly speaking about sponsoring this guy, and 110 different stories about what they're going to do and his idea of whatever. But it's like, that takes away from your own experience, speaking about someone else. It's like, there's so much of, I'm doing this, I know this. It's like, is it going to help you? It's not going to help you at the end of the day. So for me personally, it's to go in my own journey and my own experience. And it's like, Jock's golf swing is completely different from mine. And Arthur's swings are completely different. And it's like, I just think there's so much that's been taken away from golf where, and lots of guys that was excellent, that they actually, the process of improvement got in their way, but it was more in a sense where people were saying, like, you've got to change this. It's like, you've got your own experience. So just like that, to me, when Arthur was telling the guy, I was like, look, I don't mind if whoever comes in here now. But I can relate, because it's, when you working, he's here in the studio, he's got to focus on what he needs to do. Him speaking about someone else, it's not going to make any difference. So that's like my story in a little nutshell. But
the other thing is people also battle to get out of their comfort zone as professionals, you know. They don't want to go into a space sometimes where they're not comfortable.
They're not comfortable in.
Which you don't learn at the end of the day.
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
So just to relate to what you were saying there, I think a lot of guys just want to stay in their bubble and their comfort zone and don't want to change because they think, okay, this is going to mess me up for 3 months, but what about the next 15 years?
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
But anyway.
No, but Jockey said something there about mental capacity, and you know, just before I switch over to him and just do an introduction as well. But Heinrich, so don't you think it's just like a phase? So think about when we were 20, 21, you know, call it up to 25, whatever that change in your mind came. How do you translate that humbleness at the moment to youngster players that come up? Because at their stage, in their mind, I know everything.
Yeah.
I've got it. I understand it.
The thing is, like, it's funny though, like, you've seen lots of guys that, and it also depends on obviously your family and your support. So I know 110%, it's like, it's dependent on your environment of people that you spend time with.
Yeah.
So make an example.
Your grounding.
I know Brandon, we grew up together, and he...
Brandon?
Grace.
Grace.
Yeah, Grace.
I know, but for the
Yeah,
other people.
For the viewers.
That
So
popular Stinger team.
Look, he was probably the best example for me where he never ever felt like he needed to change anything. Up until now, his swing looks exactly the same from when he was like 16. But like, he never got to a point where he felt like he needed to change. So he believed what he did was good enough. And sometimes you find people that definitely have it in what they have. If you just improve on that, it's fine. But I think depending on you personally, some people, obviously, their techniques are not good enough. People don't want to hear it, and it's like...
I want to touch on that as well. Sometimes, you know what, I've been on tour for a while, he's been a little bit longer, but I've played everywhere as well, and it's like when a guy gets his tour card, I mean, I've played Corn Ferry, I've played European Tour, I've played Challenge Tour, all those things, You get your car, they buy the TrackMan.
Yes.
They all buy GC Quad.
Yeah.
Now they need to get the numbers right. They need to get this right. They change coaches. And at some times where you try and explain to the youngsters, listen, you don't have to change anything. You are good enough. That's the reason why you got there.
Yes.
There's just a couple of things. You need to keep your stats. You need to see where you need to improve on, and that's where you need to get better.
Yeah.
There, Gracie is a good example. Gracie hits the ball so low. That's why he's always done well in windy conditions at the Open, at majors.
US Opens.
Yeah, exactly. But the stigma is out there when you get on the PGA Tour. You need to hit the ball sky high. And it shows you, Gracie is just one of those. I mean, yes, he's got phenomenal hands. I mean, he spins the ball from here to the camera. He can spin it backwards.
Arthur would argue he's got the same hands.
But yet, he sits here. And Gracie plays on the stickers here. But I mean, it just shows you, like you said, I mean, he always believed that, I mean, when he won that SA Amateur at the Zalza, I mean, I remember it. I mean, I think I'm 5 or 6 years older than him, maybe even more. And he came out as a youngster and he just won the tournament. It was unbelievable. It was great golf, and just from there, he never looked back. And it just shows you what you've got. You don't always necessarily have to make it better. And just to come back on that point, it's just the youngsters out there now. Like you try and explain to them, listen, what you've got, keep going with it. Maybe you need to get discipline better. Maybe you need to get work on your short game more. I mean, we can all hit the ball miles. I mean, some of them. Maybe not as much as some of us, but the short game, the putting, the chipping. I mean, that's where you make up your shots. I mean, that's what it is, and that's kind of what I want to put in there. Is just get back to the youngsters and say, listen, it's just try and improve on some areas of your game where you feel that you need to improve. Not everything. You don't have to always change a coach.
But sometimes people search for things that are not there. Like you were discussing, getting the TrackMan, GC Quad, Fly Scope, whatever, changing coaches. But they got there. Sometimes it's just keeping it simple.
Exactly.
And just riding the wave, sort of.
I've been in that same boat. Don't worry. I bought the TrackMan. I've got the Flight Scope now. And it's some of those things you get caught up in the numbers instead of playing golf.